I remember back now and I go, Jesus Christ, I was a nervous fucking wreck, even at 4. It was out of protection from my mother. There was too much drinking going on. There was a lot of madness going on. Now, I'm not here to point fingers at anyone, because at the end of the day, we're a product of our environment.
Yeah.
And when we understand we're a product of environment and the drugs are never the problem. So to answer your question, like Irish people drink early. Like we were allowed to have a sip of a drink when we were 10. That's normal in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like I say now, my nieces and nephews, they're all allowed to have a drink at 13, 14. It's the same in Scotland. But other countries might think that's weird. But this is our culture. We curse a lot. We're not being rude. Like I came over here to this country and people going, you fuck a lot. I said, but how meant to stop speaking English then?
Yeah.
Do you understand that you can't do it? It's part of us. Whereas that's detrimental in itself, that it's become normalized to drink. And then it was smoking weed. So yeah, I sucked a lot of gas actually when I was 12 and 13. So I used to smoke hash, drink and suck. Do you ever suck the gas canisters?
No.
Yeah, so gas, and we used to suck a lot of that every day. So we'd get the massive cylinders that you use for cooking. Dangerous as fucking suck that. Yeah, we get where you'd refill lighters and suck on them all day. And like
the vapor.
Yeah, you'd be just fucking in a different planet. So, and you're hanging around with people who are similar, because you're your energy attracts energy.
Yeah.
And like you're hanging around with people who are from broken homes. So basically it was just me and a lot of angry men from broken homes. That's what we were for a large part.
There's different generations of different parts. So like the generation that you're talking from there, like I spoke to Ailey about this recently, like there's definitely, you can tell a change in people, like the post-war evolution, like see like our parents and our grandparents that never dealt with their emotions. You can definitely tell people born that are now in their 30s and 40s and 50s who are of that descent.
Yeah.
You can see how that's impacted them, but then you can actually see now that because people are more aware of this and conscious of this, there's a different wave that's happening. There's different things. There's always going to be like a knock on a wave from like 10 to 15 years later. It's never ever at the time of the thing. I was saying this to Elia, I definitely think the post-war people coming back having seriously bad mental health issues, but never dealing with it. Because there was always like people in like towns before would be like, that's just that mad guy who goes to the boozer, but he was actually deeply traumatized with PTSD from being in the war. But then they had children, and then they passed on their neglect, their drinking behaviors. But then this generation then feel the wrath of that, because it's definitely changing now. Like it's like, I know there's still loads of people like you. Yeah, they're absolutely fucked. Mate, I sometimes think that things aren't as bad as what they are, and then you coach people, you meet people, you hear people's stories, and you're like, what? Like that's still happening.
Yeah.
And I heard something on a podcast with it was Tony Robbins and Chris Williamson.
Yeah.
And it was like, he was asking Tony Robbins, do you think things are worse than they've ever been? And he's like, I'm going to read you out an article from like the 1800s. Yeah. And it's Benjamin Franklin and another politician, he's opposing candidate, like slandering each other, but like speaking in atrocities to each other. And he was just showing you like, no, it's always been this bad. It always will be this bad. And I think ignorance is bliss, isn't it? And you get in your own little bubble and you don't realize what's kind of going on.
Yeah, not only do you hear the stories, but like we don't know what we don't know. So if I back then, like any of us, only know one way, then that's the way we know. So it's like for me, I lived in a mental prison for most of my life. I was unhappy. I was unhappy from 4 years of age. I was never fucking happy. I'd smile, don't get me wrong, there's happy moments, but there was always this, I'm missing something, what is wrong with me? And then when my mother leaving, I think I felt rejected. I felt trauma from that. And then it's easy run into the drugs, and it's like, we'll get into that the drugs are never the fucking problem for people. I get that now, and I don't agree with I don't agree with any of the conventional stuff. I think it's a lot of bollocks. There's no success rate in it whatsoever. But for me, I probably wanted to kill myself taking drugs. I took so many of them that I just built up a heavy tolerance to it. So I would be that person who would take more ease than anyone. I'd be the person who'd stay awake longer. I'd sniff more coke than fucking anybody. And I didn't really have respect for myself or self-worth. Now, I came across as a fucking, I had it all by the time I got to 1920. But when I say you have it all, the money, the lifestyle, that's nothing, because my mind was so fucking dark. I was suicide waiting to happen back then. Would I have done it? No. Did I want it? Of course I thought about it on a fucking day-to-day basis. I drove a 120 grand car, 21.
Mm-hmm.
Had my own house, had it all. I didn't, it's nothing. None of that means anything to me. It doesn't even mean anything to me now, because if we aren't living to a high standard and trying to show other people there is a better way of living, there is a better quality, what are we fucking here for? What's the purpose? What's fulfillment do we get? So, do you know, somebody has to break it. But when we're born, we take on all these programs, we take on all these patterns. Our mind is just programmed a certain way. So when we understand that we can rewire it and we program it a different way for ultimate peace, I would think, is what we're all looking for, and success. And success to me is mental well-being, physical well-being, relationships, and wealth. You know, we want to have money, but that's not just the one driver that's going to make us happy.
Yeah, it's a societal norm though that's like hardwired into people to like when you're young and like I think back to being at school or me and my cousin playing football, and you would idolize certain people, and it would be because of their status, it would be because of like their wealth. And it's not to say that wealth is really important to me. It's like a big part of my life because it allows me to do the things and have the freedom, and of course 100%. But people put it in a way where it's like it's almost like folk with the transformation where they're like it's like a false ledge. Like they get to that, like they drop like 25 pounds, 35 pounds, they get to that point, then they fall off. Like it's learning to actually be in the process, like fall in love with always trying to be better. Because if you like, it's the classic saying, isn't it? Fall in love with the process, because the outcomes that, and I think it like when it gets to this point where you've actually achieved quite a lot, you can hand on heart tell someone that that's not going to be the thing, by the way. Because we have so many men and women telling us things like, you don't get it, I'm doing this right now. And you're like, look, man, I'll save you. Like, I'll save you here. And like, you have a lot of evidence there as well, even from like an actual like financial success standpoint. You mentioned before you built a 7-figure drug dealing business, like before your coaching business. And it makes people realize that like they think that not like getting a drug dealing business, but like people think that I need to do this right now with work, and it's like, what are you jeopardizing right now? Like, what are you putting in front of? Listen to what you're saying. Listen to like who you're ruminating yourself to be. It's not. You need to change that.
The people do need to change it, because money, like you said, money is important, but it's the reality is it's having values is far more important, living to a higher standard. You know, if I ask someone what do you value, most people don't know what do they even fucking value. So therefore, where are they going? What's the plan? They don't have a plan. What do you want to achieve? I don't know. I want to be wealthy. What does that mean? That's 99% of people out there. So, you know, we have to also take full responsibility for our actions. Now, life experience is very invaluable, really, for someone like me to be able to look back, and you have a lot of fucking stories, a lot of horrific shit, a lot of bad shit that's happened to people in my life, and a lot of people very close to me that aren't here today because of a certain way of living. But we didn't know about. Well, I had nobody to pull me by the scruff of the neck and go, there is a better way, because my mother and father didn't know. No one knew. Back then, they just thought fucking fella's out of control. Because what I'm trying to say is there was no right or wrong back then, because this was normal. This was a normal way of living. So when you look now, and I am a father, and I look, well, that wasn't a normal way of living. That wasn't a normal upbringing to an extent of what we've seen and what we witnessed and how things were acted upon. That's not how I would bring up my son. So I've learned a lot because we've had to break the cycle, and all my brothers and sisters are the same. But it then causes fucking trauma, and trauma is not trauma for a lot of people that run to the vice, that run to the sex, the drink, the drugs, the gambling. There's so much you could run to your phone, like whatever it is, but that is never the problem. But in today's society, they're saying the drugs are the problem. No, they're fucking not. The cause is us, ourselves, how we're wired and programmed. And unless we're willing to reprogram how we think and talk to ourselves, nothing ever is going to change. And it's, being at peace with ourselves, being in neutrality. It's understanding our thoughts aren't real. Most of our thoughts aren't real. We're just fucking bullshit in our minds, and our mind convincing ourselves that we're not good enough. Go out onto the street and ask people, what do they want? They don't know. 9 out of 10 times they told the truth to tell you they're not good enough. They can't do what you do. They can't do what I do. They can't do what fucking shit. It's a lot of shit. It's been brought up from school. Like a lot of it. When I have more kids, they will not be going through any system like that. And my son, unfortunately, does go through that system because I didn't have this information. We will be homeschooling any more kids I have with my girlfriend.
I
because
get that.
The system is bollocks. It's corrupt.
I was talking about recently, I can't remember who it was too, but you don't even realize how much you're being hardwired. Like, I even think about like when I was at school and I joined the Air Force at
Yeah,
17, and I remember going through phase one training, phase two training, and officially becoming what they call permanent staff. So you're
yeah,
actually a recruit. You're not actually, you've not signed you've signed a contract that you've got a minimal service. I can't remember what it is, but you're not actually got guaranteed a full-time job. Obviously, almost no one gets to the point where they don't get
yeah,
that. But I had so much fear imprinted into my brain that when I got that, I remember actually having the conversation in my mind, like, you've got a pension now, that's you fixed.
yeah,
And I'm not slandering pensions or there's always a time and a place, but the way that people are wired to operate from a place of scarcity from such a young
yeah,
age is absolutely fucking their potential.
yeah,
And they don't even realize that it's happening. I remember going back to conversations at school where folk are like, even in fifth year, sixth year, where folk were like, I'm going to get this job, but it's great. It's a job for life.
I know, man.
Think about that language. Like, think about what that,
Crazy.
what it's doing. Like, and I'm not like, I don't want anyone to take away from this that I'm saying that that job
Mm.
is inadequate or it's not right or you should be doing this. It's the mentality that is breeding.
Yeah,
It's breeding this mentality that's going to make you seek that in every other part of your life. You're going to seek this like safety and security. And I was reading in it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
yeah,
one of the other books. It was like the investing one, and it was saying that when you make decisions in life, but this applies to everything. When it comes to financial decisions, it comes from three places: security, comfort, and wealth.
yeah,
And most folk make it from a security standpoint, but it's not security; it's scarcity.
yeah. Scarcely
So
luck.
lack. So
Yeah,
then they're not coming from a place of abundance; they're coming from a
yeah,
place of lack. And then that becomes the reality. Everything's like, but what about this and what about that? And I've got this and I've got that. I've
yeah,
got this responsibility. And then all of a sudden, that's just showing in their body, it's showing in their lifestyle, it's showing in their decision making. And then it comes to comfort. So, like, that's when their vices all creep
yeah,
up. That's when they start going, yeah, but I can spend it on this and I
yeah,
can spend it on that. And then you actually say to someone, what about the wealth part? And wealth doesn't even go to money,
yeah.
wealth goes to how you feel within yourself. Like, how successful do you
Absolutely.
feel?
Yeah,
So, I take that model and I look at it in like life, and people are so hardwired, and you don't even realize that it's happening from school, like not even what you're taught in school, but like, and then there's a plethora of different things
yeah,
about certain qualifications that are useless. I put a post up recently about like my qualifications.
yeah.
I've got like an intermediate
Mm.
two in woodwork.
Oh no.
I've got like I mean, like, I've got a level three
Yeah,
personal trainer
yeah,
qualification and no accreditation
yeah.
from 5.5 years military service.
Uh,
And I'm like, I'm doing pretty well.
yeah,
You know
but
what I
this
mean?
is it. You're
Like,
doing better than most people.
yeah, I know it's mad. It's funny. We were in I shouldn't laugh at this. It's quite funny, but we were in ballet at the start of the year, and Ailey's parents came out,
Yeah,
and Ailey's mum was looking at some of the stuff we were doing, and we were just hiring a new full time member of staff, and they were quite blown away by like kind of seeing the inner workings and
mm,
spending time. And Ailey's mum was like, do you not just ever think, Christian, you wish that you went to uni to study marketing?" And I was
oh,
I'm marketing's someone at uni studying marketing's wet dream. Like
yeah,
what I'm doing, like I'm doing that,
yeah,
but like people are so hardwired, and that's just because of
yeah,
we're institutionalized without even realizing that we're
yeah,
institutionalized. And people say things like, "Oh, like don't watch that, you'll get brainwashed," and you're like, "You watch the news."
mm,
Like someone's telling you to not like don't
yeah,
believe that stuff. Like you're getting brainwashed. I'm like if you have the news on in the background, you're being brainwashed.
yeah,
Like you're being fed a narrative, even though you might agree with that, because it aligns with what you believe in. You won't believe in it all, but then you will be slowly starting to believe in it more and more because it's just on all the time.
absolutely.
And that's it. That's another one from that generation we were talking about. We were chatting about this last month in Cyprus to someone that people say things like, you should do this and you shouldn't do that. But then, and they'll talk about phones and tablets and
Yeah,
different things. But that generation that were the TV generation are the most brainwashed
yeah,
generation there is because they have a fixed narrative.
yeah,
Like whatever that channel says, that's what's
yeah,
going. That will
yeah,
dictate their fear. That will dictate their anxieties.
yeah.
That will dictate their thoughts for the rest of the day. And they don't even realize it's happening, man. So
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it's all a program, and it's what I strive for in my program. It's nothing to do with drugs, even actually. It's just to do with potential. It's just rewiring the subconscious part of the mind, really, because this is where, when we grow up, like, and I look back and I go, I was just like my father, really, like, I just took his role, and monkey see, monkey do. All our beliefs are created back then, our values, whether they're known or unknown to us, are created, and what the world really lacks is real guidance and real leadership from people. There's a lot of fake people online as well. So a lot of people are skeptical because of the people online. I get it. But, results will speak louder than words ever will. And it's always walking your talk. A lot of people are good at talking shit. But are they actually, good at doing it over weeks, over months, and over fucking years to what it really takes? Because, like, to your point, school and college is a broken system. Like therapy and all those AA and all, I don't know where the results. I don't see any results coming from these, but I don't see any fixed people. I see people going around, I'm in recovery. Recovery from what, motherfucker? I'm not going to go around with stupid fucking retarded words saying I'm in recovery. What are you recovering for? You're not going to ever recover. You see, that's brainwashing. I'd rather be brainwashed in a good way. Like my program is brainwashing, if then.
Yeah.
I'm washing the shit out of your fucking head, motherfucker. Fucking annoys me, I swear to God. People annoy me because they're ignorant, number one. And number two, they have such a fucking limitation on their mind, a brick wall put up of, oh yeah, how can you do that? You must have been lucky to do this and that. No, we just work hard.
Yeah.
And when we work hard, we find solutions, but we have to, hard work doesn't necessarily pay off. Hard work with the right plan, and then the application does pay off. Whereas, like people questioning you, people would question me, but how'd you make an online business out of this? Well, yeah, I took a chance, I took a risk. This is what should be taught in school. Communication skills, having big goals, visualizing, fucking how, feelings, emotions, how to regulate. All of these things aren't taught in school. Why aren't they taught? Because they want you being a good little boy and a girl and paying your fucking taxes.
Yeah.
Getting a fucking mortgage, all of that stuff. I never lived in the system from day one. Outside of that bullshit from day one. Sold drugs, did fucking well, and I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Did you do any jail time?
No, I did remand twice.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a lot of money. So if you have a lot of money, you will get away with most charges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you do commit murder and you're caught with a lot of drugs red-handed, you will not do jail time. The only reason people do jail time is because they don't pay for a good solicitor. I got away with a serious assault charge, and I got away with 98, getting caught with 98 E's because people looked into the charge and it was 24 hours out of date the summons they gave me. Now, if I went to a normal solicitor who was assigned to me, he wouldn't have looked at that. He said 98 E's, you're looking at time. So I've got away with 3 of those. So I have no huge charges against mine now.
Yeah, that's mad. So talk me through, obviously you mentioned where life was at, pushing into your 20s.
Yeah.
Close the gap to now, man. Like you're
Okay.
obviously you're 42 now.
Yeah,
Like you're
42
living
now,
in
yeah.
Malta. Like for
Um,
anyone that's watching, we're in Malta.
Yeah, we're in Malta, yeah. So, okay, so 20s was basically the time of cocaine. So we'd been selling these. There was a couple of us. There was a couple of us involved, but it was a close knit circle we had where I only sold drugs to 5 or 6 people. So selling those drugs would have been a half a bar to a half a kilo to a kilo. That's how they were sold. We knew where they were going. We knew when the money was coming in, and it was pretty fucking a good setup, if I do say so myself. And I could sniff and take a lot of coke. So I would say out of control. I would say completely. At then looking back, it wasn't depression. It was just I was creating my own reality, which was pure negativity. So I called it I was highly depressed, full of anxiety, but I didn't sleep. So I could get couple of nights where I would sleep during the week, but the rest of it was cocaine. All my relationships in tatters with women, any type of woman I had, it was always toxic. Toxic friendships, getting into trouble, fighting, all these types of things. But to look in, yeah, I had everything, and I'm not really going to get into that. Yeah, you can look in and go, right, the man seems to have it. I had nothing. I travelled the world, seen a lot when I was younger. Then I went to Australia and I found a casino in Melbourne. I loved that fuck said, yeah. Going to start gambling now. So seriously, yeah, this is how fucked up it is, yeah. So instead of drinking and drugging, I'm gonna gamble. So within a year and a half I lost everything. Every fucking penny.
How much are we talking
Gambling.
here?
Fucking a lot of fucking hundreds of thousands, man. My house, kilos of cocaine, everything, cars, the lot. Add it all up, it's a lot of money, yeah?
Yeah.
So gone. And my mother now was then back at home with my father, and she didn't even want me because of the fucking fear. She knew what I was doing. So I couldn't convince her everything is all right because fucking she's living on her nerves with someone like me in the house. So I'm back in the house. on the fucking dole, 28, 29, and I had enough. I was there then thinking, there's no point in me living anymore. I fucking nothing. Now I still had my friends, whatever, but people had moved on. Some of them had moved on to grow houses, so they were growing weed. So they went on to make a lot of money out of that. Because what happened, sorry, how the business collapsed, because what happens when the government fucking crashes in our the economy crashed. And so there's no money for cocaine, there's only money for weed. So the boys got into weed. I didn't move quickly enough. I just took up gambling and that finished me. So you see, cocaine stopped in Ireland and UK and Europe because of the economy for about 3 or 4 years. There's very few people could afford it. So my
Yeah.
business went overnight.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
then,
Teaches you so much about like actual just as
yeah.
business. It's just like it's not even a separate business. It's
Oh
actually
no, it's the
like
same thing.
it's the
It's
exact
business. Like
yeah
you
a
have
product.
you have a product. It has to be good. You can give people a test of it, and then when they like it, you do business.
Yeah, just can't post it on Instagram.
Just can't post on Instagram, and you need to deal with the right people because
Yeah,
that. Listen, the further you get up in that, and I never got to the top of that. Far from it. But I would have known people. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
yeah,
Like you're talking, you're dealing with tens of millions, and one day you could have it, the next day you could have it zero left in your bank account.
yeah.
That's at that level.
Volatile.
It's not it's volatile, but also they're moving money around. A lot of them don't even have the money they say they do because they're just moving such high volume of fucking drugs. If one of that gets wrong, you're fucking gone.
Yeah,
You're out of business, you see.
yeah,
So then I went to treatment. Right. So my first experience of treatment, I was 29. 29. Went for a month and I didn't get on very well after about 2 weeks. They asked me to leave. I said, where the fuck am I going to go? One, of no money. My mother's infirmary. Nobody wants me. Okay, stay. And the reason they wanted me to go is because I like women as well back then, yeah. So I now moved to women because I had nothing else to do. I had no gambling now, no drugs. So now I'm fucking women. Nothing wrong with that, but it's a problem for me,
yeah,
yeah? So I'm in here and I'm cozying up to women and they seen it. And it's weird, I'd organised to go and see. Now, this is a no-no in treatment. Like, you do not do that.
yeah,
So they'd seen me cozying up to one of these women, right? And they called me in. We see what's going on. Obviously, I fucking denied it. And they go, there's fucking nothing going on. You help me. I am here for help. So anyway, I'm not going to say any more on that. I ended up doing the 4 weeks. And a week before, this is a week later and a week before my exit, they said, listen, Derek, this is not enough for you. And I said, yeah, I know, it's not enough for me. We have another place down in, so it's Waterford City.
yeah,
It is a place called Carmella, and it is like a secondary treatment home. Now, this is an odd place because it's in the middle of an estate, a housing estate. It was an old nun's house. So it's regular people, and here is two big houses carved out for a secondary treatment centre for men from all over the country. So I was there. Well, I've fuck all to lose. I've nowhere to go. So yeah, let's go. So sister brought me down. I was sort of horrified. I'm going into this house going, fuck's sake. Like, I'm nearly 30. What has my life come to? Do you know?
yeah,
There was guys ranging from 18 to 63. And it was sad seeing people in their 60s. Like, now there's only one guy, but you're going, like, your life is fucked at that stage. So I took it upon myself. One thing I realised is I've strong leadership skills. So I said, you know what? At the time I was big into the gym. I've been to the gym since I was 23. So I had a load of information. I did a PT course, the whole lot. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to bring all these men. We're all going to go to the gym. We're going to eat. So I led by my actions. I led by example. And we used to have meetings. We had nurses in there. So we had someone who had to look after us all day, every day. And we were doing like fucking woodwork classes. Basically integrating us back into normal society is basically what it was. And we had a curfew. During the week it was 10 and on the weekends it was 11. So we could go, if we got a woman, we could go out with them and go on a date and be back, all that stuff. But we'd have these meetings daily, and I was very outspoken because I realised I didn't have the information I have now, but I realised back then the drugs were never the problem, because I was there like, what the fuck are you talking about drugs for? All of us are sober. So obviously drugs isn't the problem. No, you're wrong. I was right, but I just didn't know I was 100% right back then. Now, what happened then in that house, everyone started listening to me and not to the counsellors. So that caused a bit of a power struggle in the house, because now all the men were coming to me for the advice.
took over the
Yeah. And they didn't like that. So we could go away for weekends after about 4 months. So I used to go down to my sister's just for a couple of days. And I'd come back to a mess. And, now in fairness, the two head councils, I got on very well with them and I became friends with them. But it was an interesting experience. Then I got out and they put you into an apartment. So no TV, had some books, and I was living on social welfare. I think it was coming out about by the time rent was about 100 quid a week. So I said I'm going to open a gym. So this is where my mind maybe start being a little bit more. I was entrepreneurial, obviously from the drugs, so I knew I had something. I knew I have more of an understanding of vision and visualizations now. But back then I said I'm going to open a gym. And everyone goes, with what? Is there? I will. So I first of all located a place. I was on 100 quid a week. I had no money. I located a building. And it was a shithole. You wouldn't have put a fucking dog in there to sleep. It was that bad. But I told him my story and he said, right, you can have it for 400 quid a month, which was cheap. It wasn't in a great area. And he said, we'll sweep it up a bit. Now it was shit. But I said, okay, how am I going to get 400 quid? No one will give it to me. No one had it. So, sorry, now. Then I went to a local charity called the Vincent de Paul. I don't know if they're in Scotland.
No.
Vincent de Paul, they could be, right?
Yeah,
they're in
probably
Ireland anyway. They're hand out clothes and stuff to homeless people. And she said, what do you want the money for? And I told her and she said, fuck off. I'm giving you money for that. I said, okay. So I went back. I probably went back 15, 20 times. And one day an old granny came up to my door and she said, there's the 400 quid. And I said,
Honestly.
thank you very much. Thank you. I was delighted. So I went down and gave it to him, but now I have no equipment. So I'm opening up a gym. I'm opening up a fucking gym you haven't put a dog into. There's a toilet in there. It's nothing but dust. The walls aren't even plastered. Right. I'm going, right. Okay, so I rang the local government. He says, oh, you've missed, they'll give €1,000 grant. You've missed that. And I said, well, fuck that. So I just went straight up there and I walked into your man's office. And I said, listen, this is my story. He was shocked. But then he said, fair play, I'll give you €1,000.
Aye.
Yeah. So then I knew I had something. I said, right, okay, action speaks louder than anything now, speaks louder than words. Just take action, put yourself out there. And I was nervous, like, because fuck's sake, I'm opening a gym and then I'm promoting it. I got flyers. And in fairness, I built this sort of a class. And they liked me. So with the €1,000, I got some equipment. And then I'd met a girl. So the reason I'm in Malta, a Maltese girl, before I went to treatment and we kept in touch. So now I'm seeing her, where I'm going back and forth to her. She then eventually moves to me and when I'm doing these classes. And we had saved maybe 2 grand. Right. And I came across one of the first fitness gurus. His name, I'm not going to even mention his name. He was a fucking sham, but he taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was there, oh, you make money high ticket. And I'm in a city and no one knows what the fuck this is. So he was doing like a free webinar. So I say, grand. I took out the notes, start writing. Then he's going, right, we have 6 weeks now, half price. I said, oh, fuck's sake, right. So I went into him, I said, how much money do we have? She said, okay, well, it's going to cost all the money we have, which is the 2,000. And we literally have €20 electricity because we wanted the meters and we have enough food for 3 days. And I said, can I do it? She said, yeah, okay, do it. Fuck it, take a risk. I gave him all the money we had. I got on a call with him and I start selling €1,000 fucking programs the next day to people who had never heard of high ticket. And I did okay.
Yeah.
He taught me how to sell. He taught me how to build a gym. Now, he was a sham now when you look back on him now.
Yeah.
But I met a lot of good people back then and I built a fucking fine gym.
Yeah.
Just a personal training studio, and I was the first person to bring group training in and charge everyone high ticket for doing group training. But the results were amazing because I meant what I said. I walked my talk, and I was in a really good place. And then started employing staff. Had a child at this stage, Leon, who's here. This is why I live in Malta.
Yeah.
So, and then I went back sniffing cocaine. So, do I really need to fucking tell you what happened then? Then I didn't like any responsibility. I just let the gym run and that fucking fell apart. Still making okay money. My life falling apart with her. Not present, not a man, a piece of fucking shit again. And I was back into suicidal fucking thoughts again going. And then she sort of half left. I pushed her out because I wanted to move to Malta. But I think it was more to be by myself. and sniff coke, and that's sad. That's where I was at 33, 32 or 33, so that about 9 years ago. And then I moved. I'd rented a place for us here, and then she found some messages on my phone from other women, and that was that. And then I was back and forth trying to get back with her. The gym fell apart numerous times. And then I moved here 5 years ago, and I set up as a mindset coach online because I'd learned a lot of my stuff by then.
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah, so that's a little more of the story. So I used to sit in my office sniffing a lot of coke. And I used to have a nice office in that gym, and I used to expect everyone else to do everything for me. So what I had really worked hard for, I just absolutely destroyed in the space of a year to 18 months. And I did the same with my drug business. I did the same when I was young at school. And that led me to realize I really have a shitty program of self-sabotage, that I really don't have any self-worth of myself.
Yeah.
I really don't like myself. And I am doing this to really hurt myself, and I'm hurting other people while I'm doing it, but the main person getting hurt was me. And that brings up a lot of emotions even as I say it, because we see a lot of people and we think they're doing more harm to themselves. I was harming myself through not even drugs, but just my actions and my behavior. And yes, that then those actions were harming other people, but it was abuse to myself.
Yeah.
I had to experience pain. If something went good in my life for a year, I would have to destroy it. That was my program. That's fucked.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, and a lot you'll come across a lot of
Yeah.
people like this. It's that sad. They're just not feeling worthy, and it comes down to belief systems. It comes down to a hell of a lot. But the subconscious mind is a very important topic too for people to understand, because it's what I teach people, how to rewire that. I have a lot of experience. I've invested a lot of money into it, and I'm not saying I'm any perfect man. I'm certainly far from fucking perfect, but I do my best to speak the truths and to be that guide and that lead for people what they need. Just to see someone, you know what, I was where you were. Come on, you can fucking step up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of lads are doing well financially. We had this chat, but it's not. The finances isn't going to bring the happiness, the relationship happiness. You know, I'm a father. I want more kids. All of these things now we can teach people. It's invaluable.
Yeah. The thing that thanks very much for sharing that. That was incredible to get an insight there,
Yeah,
man. Like, very,
many
very,
many more stories.
yeah, I can imagine. We could probably go down a rabbit hole
Yeah,
and
you could. I could
fire this
speak
studio
for
for
yeah,
12 hours.
easy.
Do like Joe Rogan style
Yeah,
podcast. But yeah, it's, I think with stuff like this, going back to the last point you said there, we spoke about, touched on at the beginning, values. Like, one thing that living remotely has taught me, like, we gave up our house last year.
yeah,
And when we were packing everything away and selling everything, I had this like weird feeling. And I went, someone's going to do this for me one day when I'm dead.
yeah.
Someone's going to do this exact same thing. The house might be bigger, the car might be better, there might be more stuff, there might be more boxes, but someone's going to box up my shit and pack me away
Yeah,
and sell things. And even since we've been away, like, I've started to become so clear on what I like, what I don't like. And even in that time, like you were saying there about like really working on that self-worth, because you can, like, I always use the example of Simone Biles went from being an apex predator gymnast
yeah,
to losing all of her confidence like that.
yeah.
It's all borrowed. So like, even if you do know your values, even if you are clear on it, it's a constant work. And
Absolutely, you said it.
yeah, the last few weeks for me especially, it like had a lot of stuff going on, like some stuff going on personally. Like, I won't go into like stuff that's been happening there, but my bank got closed down in Dubai, and I had to go to Dubai and scan a fingerprint,
Mm.
and it wasn't even guaranteed it was going to, because nobody was speaking to me. I then had issues with an editor that had loads of content. I know this sounds like, but it's like, it wouldn't be bad if it all happened separately, but it all happened in a
It
short space
was.
of time. And then just like I was just ruminating a lot of negativity, and that's because of I was in fight mode. I was just in like, I need to fix this, I need to fix that. And over the last week, there's been a couple of things that I've, like yesterday morning, I woke up pretty down. Like, and it's just fleeting. See, because I'm very aware of why I do what I do. And sometimes so aware that you actually forget that you can fall victim to this stuff. And I woke up yesterday morning, and Ailey went to the gym a little bit earlier than me because I was having a bit of a later day because I had some calls. And I woke up and I was just like consumed by negative thoughts, thinking about anticipating things that hadn't happened. And earlier on that week, I've been reading Jay Shetty's book,
Yeah.
and there's a saying in it. It says, "I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who you think I am."
Yeah, I
And
like
I've
it.
just been thinking about it all week, right? And
Yeah.
I've just been sat thinking
Yeah.
about it all week. And then I was also thinking about the other day, who am I being right now? Like, see when someone sees me walking down the street, like when I'm trying to really get past this sort of, I'm feeling like I'm getting this blanket of like heaviness on me right now because of all these things. Like, how do I fucking change this? Like, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
And then one of my best mates sent me a video the other day, and he wrote, "Let's change the world, bro."
Yeah.
And then it was nothing else, and it
Yeah.
was just a video. I can't remember the guy's name. It's a famous video about
Yeah.
visualization and manifestation, but not just the manifest that you have this. Like, you cannot be in lack and have abundance.
Yeah.
And I just went, it
Yeah.
just like I just it wasn't the first time I'd heard it. It wasn't like an epiphany. It was just like, that's it, Christian. And I just went, I walked down the street to the gym with a smile on my face, held myself up high, and I was like, I can do all the right things. I can do the training, I can eat well. That's stuff that's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
But my internal dialogue and how I am speaking to myself on the daily is all that matters. And you only borrow that. And it can be taken away from me. And I felt like it got taken away from me for a few weeks there because I just had a lot of things just
Yeah.
landing on me, man. And it's heavy. And a lot of folk just think it's as simple as I just need this or I just need that. And you're like, you're
Yeah.
speaking to yourself so shit right now, man. Like, you need to speak
Yeah.
to yourself better. Like, that's
You,
what a lot of folk don't realize is that it's a constant battle.
you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's what I teach, right? There's two ways you are going to dig your fucking grave, and it's true how you think and true how you talk, but the same two ways is going to be the bridge to everything somebody wants. And you see, when we talk about feelings, we'll actually go back and we go, oh, yeah, when I have this, I was always great when I was selling drugs. I was always so unhappy because I never hit my targets, and my targets were so fucking big. And even though I had everything, I was so unhappy and living in such a fucked up world that I was setting these massive targets I knew I couldn't achieve. So again, what was I doing? It was a form of self-sabotage. It was a form of to keep me unhappy. And this is how people live. They don't understand another, there is other ways, like there is expansion. There is like I was talking to my cousin, she's over, and I was like, she lives in a small town. There's no right or wrong with that, but like a couple of things I've said to her, I said, you need to expand your thinking a bit, Chaz. And you could see her thinking, Jesus Christ, even what you've said to me is mad. Even her coming over here and seeing how I live, but I think this is normal living what I live. You know, you wake up to the fucking sea. I'm blessed, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, and I'm full of gratitude, but it opens up someone else's, goes, fuck, no, I like this, I want some of this, and feelings, we're going to experience a range of feelings and like emotions. They come and go.
Yeah.
You know, now we can choose to sit in the fucking shit all day if we want. And, you know, we can have one thought and we know what happens with that. It can multiply into videos in our mind of how bad the world is and how fucking stupid we are and why we're not good enough to do this and that. Or we can prove it to ourselves. Now, proving it to yourself, yes, it's true action, but it's all true feeling. Like most of our thoughts are not real. What we think on a day, we will think. The sad thing is, and you know this, you'll see people, they're in no different. 5 years ago, they're in the exact same position today. In 5 years, they'll be in the exact same position. They'll be talking the same shit and thinking the same fucking nonsense. And they're still going nowhere. That's the cycle. That's the system. That's the fucking matrix, whatever you want to call it. Whereas when yes, we have to be our own supporters, but we have to prove it to ourselves as well. We have to build that confidence, and that's done through action. Like you said about gym and food, it's pretty much my bread and butter as well. I don't really need to think when it comes to it, but when we have a problem, it's how we respond. Are we going to react in a shit way? Or are we going to actually build a new program and a new pattern and go, okay, this is not nice. It's like what you were saying. Stuff happens. Now we can react and throw our toys out of the pram. It will get us zero results. Or we can go, okay, what has to happen? What can we do now in order to find a solution for this? And that's where the new programming comes in. And that's where new beliefs are formed. And beliefs are formed from experience a lot of the time. Because what you didn't maybe think today, you'd be sitting here in Malta in a podcast studio, doing this, traveling the world, being a successful entrepreneur, but here you are. Do you know what I mean? So your beliefs have changed over the last 5 years.
Mhm.
My beliefs have changed. Do you know? So now I'm confident, and I'm sure you're confident of what the next 5 years will hold. But that's how far some people don't think to the end of today. sad. They don't have any expanded vision of where they will be in 5 years. How the fuck will you get there if you don't know where it is?
Mhm.
But what it is, man, it comes down to moment anyway, because we can't live in the dream. We can't live in the vision because it's only a dream then. Whereas the reality is, the hard work is in this moment. The hard work is in the next moment of our lives where we can use the information we have to apply it, or we can just choose to remain our old selves and do fuck all about it.
Yeah. The hardest part, like for people changing, is you hit the nail on the head there. Like someone described this to me recently. It was actually someone that's a psychotherapist, and they were talking about like life and why people like catastrophize
Yeah,
things. And like, let's say for example, someone's in a job. You've got one that maybe requires a high EQ, like emotional intelligence. You're maybe a coach, a consultant, an accountant, and you get someone else that's maybe a very mechanical, labor-intensive job. They're two totally different jobs. One requires a lot more emotional intelligence, and one requires you could turn up and do that, like really skilled work, but you could do it and not speak to anyone. Now, depending on the way that you're engineered and how you think, and then your belief system where
yeah,
you're brought up, let's say, for example, you are, I don't know, someone that does a lot of work on your own, it's very mechanical, and you're also from a small village or a small town
yeah,
with a very small mind, right? So, see, when anything happens to that person, their world is like a tennis ball. Whereas the person that's like a little bit more, they've expanded their vision a little bit more, is like a space hopper.
yeah,
So then when something happens to that person that's like a tennis ball, it's like someone's grabbed it and thrown it away and the world's ended.
yeah,
But then to someone else that's got the space hopper and like they look at it a little bit differently, that's not that bad.
yeah.
Because everyone articulates their problems differently, but then you chuck in vices in there, poor belief systems, and someone has something really not even that bad happen to them, and they're like, I'm having a terrible day. And you're like, you're
Yeah,
going, is it really that bad? Like, is your day that bad
yeah,
right now? Or
yeah,
is it just like you're catastrophizing it? Like, and then you speak to them, what's happened? And they're like, oh, well, this happened, and this person done this. And you're like, so this person said something to you. That's what's happened. It's like, yeah, that's what happened, and this has ruined your day. Like, see, people say things like this week's a write off.
I know it's
You're like, you're weak. Listen to how you are, like you're soliciting yourself, like how you're just letting yourself speak. Like, no wonder you're happy. No wonder you're sabotaging yourself. So it's hard, man. See when people are like, what do I do? What do I need to change? To especially if someone's wrapped up in vices, toxic
yeah,
habits and behaviors, it's like brick by brick, man. Like you're like just what do we need? What's the one thing we need to focus on right now?
yeah,
Because it's like it's so like years of crappy habits,
yeah,
man, built up. So you obviously mentioned about coming to Malta, slipping back into these habits. You built a mindset coaching business. Now you're obviously sober.
yeah.
Do you completely sober or do you
No,
drink?
sometimes I have a drink.
Something, yeah, yeah,
An odd time. Sometimes I smoke a little bit of weed.
yeah,
Only an odd time. And this is something within my program. It's mainly a men's program. We're very point blank about these things. We discuss. I do not run a sober program. It is not a
yeah, yeah,
sobriety program. So I never say it. I never say addiction because really, are we addicted to the drugs? No, we're addicted to the chaos of the drugs. Like
yeah,
if I go back and I looked at my life, I was addicted to chaos. So if I was, it goes back to I'm doing well in life. So if I'm doing well in life, everything is moving in congruency and alignment. So then I'm not chaos. So how do I create chaos? Well, I create chaos by causing an argument or by taking cocaine or by destroying my fucking life. And this is where a lot of the men that come to us, a lot of my men are very wealthy in money and business. Like they're not, these aren't fools like that are on my program. You know, we don't deal with that. We deal with lads who were like me years ago. So lads are attracted to me who were like me. So it's like your energy going out there. So it's a very niche business,
yeah,
but it's very niche people within the business as well as in the members. And it's like a proper brotherhood is what we've created because we're all there for each other. And again, they have a couple of parts of their life right, but it's slowly dissolving relationships. Their kids are, with their kids, they're just not present.
yeah,
Whereas it's easy run to the bag and it's easy. Like these habits are built up, like you said, over fucking decades. These habits don't just go away in 12 weeks or 6 months. There's a tremendous amount of hard work. Like I didn't know any other. Like I went to therapy from 12 years old. I went to loads of fucking psychiatrists. I was told had bipolar. I was clinically depressed. I'm not any of those things. They're fucking stupid fucking labels people put on me. I've not one sign of bipolar today, but I was diagnosed with it when I was in the secondary treatment center.
Yeah.
diagnosed, but I'm not fucking bipolar. So you see how people can now go around and go, I'm bipolar, I'm clinically depressed. So actually, I'm just going to hop off of fucking painkillers and tablets because I have an excuse. That's who I was as well.
Yeah.
I have an excuse because there's something mentally wrong with me. I have mental health problems. I don't fucking know many people who have mental health problems. They cause their own problems through how they think, yes. And you see, it's my responsibility then to come in and show them there's a different way of living. And we work a lot with belief systems. We work a lot on values, but we get in and we have to fucking rewire
Yeah.
the mind. And we have to remove the bullshit out of it and go, that is lies. What's happening, what you're telling yourself. We must disassociate. So we work with a lot of associating the right things, disassociating. Very cool techniques, and it's a comprehensive program in itself. There's quite a bit to it, but the whole goal is for them men and some ladies on it to continue stepping up with themselves, with their mental well-being.
Yeah.
Because you have your mental well-being and you're at peace there, and you're willing to roll up the sleeves and work hard, then man, fucking anything is possible. Like everything can be achieved from that. But we've talked about lack. Most people live in lack. Oh, I can't do what he or she did. Well, there you go. There's some bullshit, isn't it? That you're telling yourself how did they do it?
Yeah.
So then you get people who don't like to see you doing well. They're saying, oh, look at him, fucking who does he think he is? But why wouldn't you ask them the question, how did he do it? Would you mind showing me? Because most people won't mind. Whereas drink and drugs are just a mask. They're the escape. Drink, drugs, gambling, sex is an escape. That is never the fucking problem. The cause is in here. The cause is why are we escaping? Why can't we sit with our fucking feelings?
Yeah.
That's the problem for me. I can never sit still. I could not stand what I thought. So therefore it was easier for me to get up. And I'd promised myself I'm never doing coke again. I would last probably till about noon. I go, this is how my mind works. I'll just have one line. Fuck's sake. Man, I'd be sniffing all fucking day. I'd be paranoid. I wouldn't even want to go out. Like by the end of it, I was sniffing Monday to Friday by myself. And then I'd go out with my friends the weekend. But they all knew I was a fucking sniffhead.
Yeah.
They all go, are you sniffing during the week? Not me, no, no, no. And like I was ending up in hospital sick the whole time. I was looked like fucking that. Pale. Yeah, not a good look. And everyone knew. No, I only come out on the weekends like everybody else. And here I am sitting at home by myself in my boxers, sniffing fucking gear. And sometimes with a stupid amount in front of me because I used to always hide some on my father's land. Yeah, and I'd run out and I go, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. And I could drive out 3 a.m. to his land, dig this fucking box up. And I could be sitting there with about 50 grand's worth of coke like a fool. Yeah, and if anyone came in, yeah,
50 grand.
like, seriously, if anyone came in, they're there like, what are you doing? I just took so many risks to sniff. And it was just, man, an absolute fucking shit show in my life. Then I'd cry wolf and I'd ring my brother, oh, I need help, and I'd be crying and all, and he'd come in, he'd claim, and I'd be just back to the same shit 2 days later. So what I'm saying is, I still didn't know any other way. The only ways I knew were the conventional ways, and I knew they didn't work. And for most people, they didn't work. And that's why I have my program. And anyone in my program, none of the conventional ways ever worked because we are about stacking wins and success.
Mate, the hardest, you said about school,
Right.
is like going back to school, like there is this conventional way, and do you know what? It's like there has to be something in place because for some folk that don't have that access, that don't have
Yeah,
that thing,
I
and then that
agree.
allows them to do it. But like, I think it's the blind leading the blind, though, isn't it? Because you've got
Yeah,
someone teaching a method that isn't really that invested into it. So then when you actually get someone, because like everyone needs purpose, man.
yes,
Like,
purpose.
and I think that's the hardest part is like you've got someone that maybe doesn't have a problem who's showing someone how to not have a problem or deal with it, but then they've got other things that just aren't on a level 10.
Yeah,
They're maybe at a level 5, so they've got food coping mechanisms.
yeah,
They've got a poor relationship with themselves. And it's just like, well, I'll swap you this one for that one. Like
yeah.
it's all, and it's like it's just personal development, isn't it? Like when you look at most of these models, like I know you mentioned there about conventional, but if you look at the model of AA, they use Christianity as
Yeah,
like their like
belief.
so,
The
but it's just
belief.
a belief, mate, and
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
trading it for that. So, and if you like Ailey's grandmother is massively religious, and see when you like sometimes I hear religion. I don't know if you're religious, but like,
Well, I grew up very, as
yeah,
I said,
yeah,
Catholic, and
yeah,
in Ireland was hugely Catholic when I was growing up. But now young people are going, this is bollocks.
yeah. And for me, like, I wasn't brought up religious at all, and I hear it, and it's like one of those things that I just switch off to it because I'm not. It's not
Yeah,
that I'm like disrespectful of it, but like I hear like when folks start talking to me about it, I'm like, like I just it's just those words. But when you actually listen to someone that is very, very, very passionate
yeah,
about it, you see that it actually gives them a belief system that allows them what's good, bad, right, or
yeah,
wrong. But what you're talking about with your program, like what I do with Ready
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
Anything, is you're giving people a belief system that
mm,
allows them to go, is that right? Is that
yeah,
wrong? Why am I doing this? Like,
yeah,
that's acting out of alignment with who I want to
mm,
be. That doesn't really, like, you're giving people the tools so that
yeah.
they can then actually go and have more freedom. And then until the next thing, like, I always remember we were in the Valley in 2023. My
Great
back,
spot,
what?
great
Yeah, it's
spot. I'll
good,
come
man.
visit you over
Yeah,
there, man.
yeah.
I really am.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
I
We're going
love
out
it.
next month. We're
Yeah,
going out, yes,
I
we're going
love
to
that.
Scotland and then we'll be out there. So we'll be out there for a while. So if you come out,
Okay,
man.
no, I
Yeah,
will be well up for it. I'll say
yeah.
it to the missus. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love Bali.
definitely, man. It's so good.
Yeah,
And we were out there, and this was I hadn't really been stretching and stuff. My back was getting to the point where I was like, I was 29 at the time, and I was like, my back's pretty bad. I shouldn't have a bad back at
yeah,
21, and it's just years of
yeah,
compression. I started going to yoga, and I was telling this woman, this yoga instructor, I don't know where she was from. She was like, I don't know, like what sort of nationality, like maybe like sort of American Asian or something. She had a bit of an accent, and she was like a diva, man, like a proper yoga diva. And then she was like, we were doing power yoga, and I was explaining to her the bad back, and she was like, "You don't have a bad back." She was like, "You've got," like she described it like
yeah,
as she was like, "But then when that's fixed, there'll be something else. There'll be," and she explained it in this way that just was like. Ah,
yeah,
like it just made sense to me for everything. But it was the way that she said it. It wasn't just like, whereas you go to someone with a problem and people dissect it like it's a problem.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like, it's not actually a problem. It's actually like a phase of your life that you're currently in that you're just trying to figure out why.
yeah.
But people look at it like such a dead end. Like
It's
people,
a mirror to
yeah,
go find a fucking solution.
find a
Yeah,
solution and fix it. Whereas folk are like, my problem is, and you're like I get that like there's certain tendencies and pathways and ways of thinking that you have, but you've mentioned it already, rewire it. It will change over time. And I often think this even right now. Like we were talking before like about ads, and I've started doing like I don't know about you, but like I've sent a few to my mentor and he's like, nah, change that, do
yeah,
this. And like you go and film this. I was walking down the street in Malta yesterday, it was 35 degrees, filming for an hour, walking back
yeah,
to then change the start and change it. And I came back and then I was like, right, I need to get an editor. I've got an editor from my YouTube. I was like, I'm going to send this to them. Then I was like, learning a new skill was just so hard.
yeah,
And I was like, but why should it be easy?
yeah.
Why should it? And it's like, it's the same if you're like going through this point where you're trying to change your belief system, you
Yeah,
try to change your relationship with food, you try to change your relationship with like, removing toxic
yeah,
habits. Why should it be easy? Like, if people get to the point where they're getting frustrated,
yeah,
they don't recognize it, it's hard.
yeah,
They're like, oh, you don't know, I feel this way right now. You're like, it's hard.
yeah.
It's hard to change the way that you see the world. Like,
It's
just
a
accept it.
it's a
Like,
huge sacrifice.
yeah, it's so hard.
Like, I say you must pay the price. It's your
Yeah,
commitment, it's your energy, it's determination. Like, man, fucking most days I want to give up. Come,
yeah,
fuck this. But we're still here. We continue, and this is what people need to see. They need to see men stepping up.
yeah.
Because men aren't men anymore. They're more fucking women, really. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? I call them out. There are a lot of pussies, man, out there. They are
It's
like,
true,
it's
man.
like,
It's true.
man, are you a man? I'm finding, I don't know, I'm looking at some of these people, whereas back then I needed a fucking leadership in my life. I needed someone like us. Come on, there is a different way. I just didn't know another way. I just thought this was the way. And like I used to look back with regret and go, fuck, man, the amount of years I wasted selling drugs, sniffing drugs. Now, I had great memories, but as many bad ones, really, and I've good experience from it to be, I suppose, to speak in the position I am in now, and especially the career of and the business that I've built. But like, it comes down to exactly you said it, living in alignment, being congruent. How do we do that? Well, we do that by walking our talk, number one. Whereas too many people are talking, very lot of inaction, and then you're going, oh, I'm depressed, I'm confident. No, you're not. Your fucking reason you feel like shit is because you do not trust yourself. What do you mean? Well, if you keep telling yourself, I'm going to do this, and you keep not doing it, you're building a program called mistrust in your system. So that's a feeling at the end of the day. And, you know, social media is brilliant. Social media changed the world, but it's also very bad because now you have people online just comparing themselves
Yeah.
to somebody who's years ahead, or now I'm lucky or you're lucky, and the next person, oh, they just got a lucky break. Now, they've not seen what you have to sacrifice, because there has to be sacrifice and there has to be loneliness. Because if you're wanting to ultimately change your life from here and to move it forward to a destination you want, you're going to experience loneliness.
Yeah.
As in, because it's all new. It's like, whoa, shit, man, is this, am I meant to be feeling like this? Now I have a load of self-doubt. These are all good shit, but you got to feel it. If you don't feel it and you just want to react to it, you're just going to be in that fucking loop for the rest of your life. And most people, that's the way the world is. I used to bring my son when he was younger onto my balcony and go, look. He go, what? I said, see those fucking people, yeah? And he goes, yeah. I said, they are fucking sheep. And he said, what do you mean? I said, they don't go, we'll go down there. No, I didn't go down there. And we'll ask them, what do you want? And they don't know. And I said, don't be like that. Have a plan. Have fucking know where you're going in life. But this is the problem. They're just people just walking around. And then at the weekends, they'll go drinking, they'll go drugging. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong if people are getting joy out of it, but I know for a lot of people, it's an escape from what we talked about, being in debt, having that fucking job, paying off your college bills. It's like, what type of fucking life is this?
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't want any part of it. And I'm just trying to, I'm only teaching people how to think. My responsibility is to make you think about your life, to make better quality decisions, back it up with taking more of the right actions on a day to day. Now, when you can do that, and none of us are perfect, none of us are perfect, and we're just willing to take action, and we're willing just to get out of bed when we don't feel like it, and willing just to do that one or two things, even though if we're unwell or we're not feeling the best, that's what builds the fucking program. That's just character at the end of the day. So there's quite a bit in what we're talking about, but I don't think we can do what we do without the experience we have either.
Yeah.
Life experience, man, is, I would say, 50-60% of my program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can have the tools, we can have the ways of living and the ways of being, but it has to be experienced.
Yeah.
Do you know, you have to have had enough of that, because that life, man, like I've lost so many people. 3 of my best friends dead, either fucking, one of them murdered, one of them took his life, another fella died off drugs. I could go on and on about all the associates back then. None of them ended up well. I was the only one that did good. And even out of the house, the treatment, right? The 2 treatments I went to, I'm the only one who did okay. There, anyone else I talked to, some of them are dead. It's fucking mad. Some of them are dead, and others are still struggling with the same problems they went to treatment for. Therefore, what I'm saying is, just talking about your mummy and daddy problems is not the solution. Yes, we must revisit, but man, you have to fucking start carving out a life in the now. And go, whoa, this is what I want. It's like talking to people like you is refreshing for me, because there's not a lot of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to find purpose, man. You need to, and that's the
Sorry, you said purpose. Yeah, that's something exactly. But how do you create purpose if you don't know where you're going? There's nothing.
Yeah.
Then you will not be fulfilled. Then you will get to like 60, 70, man. Look back in your life and go, why did I fuck it up?
Yeah.
This is what I'm just promote. But purpose, exactly, like purpose. Purpose will lead to more pleasure anyway. Like they say, purpose over pleasure, but purpose over devices, yes. But purpose will lead to a very pleasurable life in the end.
It's shifting, is it? Going from like delayed gratification to, instant gratification to delayed, and knowing the balance between that as well. There's a saying, it's a man with no purpose seeks a life of pleasure. And it's so true.
And I had a saying as well, and I'm trying to think, I made it up in my head. Fuck this. I know you're laughing there now. It's like just a wandering sheep. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's like a man. It's just a fucking. You might as well just throw them into the field with other sheep, and they'll just wander around.
Yeah.
And they'll see one sheep going out. Do you ever see this on? If you got off a plane and there's 2 lifts.
Yeah.
And one will go there, and everybody will follow.
Yeah.
I just sit back and look at this, and it's so funny, because it's just this, and people are just the way they're programmed. But when we have to understand, we can deprogram ourselves as well of what we don't want, because I'm not sitting here saying everyone's life is shit. There's some great parts of everyone's life, but we're looking for improvements and just to expand people's reality that little bit more, I'd say.
Yeah. What's the you obviously work with a lot of guys, like
Mm,
you spoke there about the type of person you work
yeah,
with. So interesting about niche, isn't it? Because your niche is always just the version of you a few years ago.
basically.
That's who it always
Yeah,
is. And then it will change in another few years and
yeah.
it will evolve. What's the biggest setback that these guys
Mm.
experience, and what would you advise to someone that's kind of going through that? How do you deal with that? Because I can imagine there's a regular patterns of things that come up. What's the
Yeah, like
hardest bit?
the regular pattern is okay, we'll do the common denominator is cocaine. Now that's different. Like there's very few people in my program ever took cocaine every day. I would say 2%. Some were only once a month, but some then were every weekend and some were 3 or 4 times a week. You see, when we talk about escape, it works something like this. So you will abuse cocaine all. I don't know. Have you ever done cocaine?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll abuse cocaine all weekend, and you go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Why did I do that? Bloody fucking blood bullshit." And Monday you'll be so depressed, and you'll tell yourself the most convinced. Tuesday, yeah, I still feel like shit. I'm not doing cocaine. So by the time it gets to Wednesday, now you're feeling. Now you're back to coming back to some what peace. But what men don't realize, and what I didn't realize, this is your opportunity now to really face up to it. But how can people face up to if they don't have the right information as well? You see,
Yeah.
so then it's the talk comes in the association because it's a regular thing. So the association comes in through picture. And then they can nearly taste the coke, and then therefore they're going to go and get it eventually. Then the urge kicks, and eventually they're going to go get it. So, see, this is the cycle they're in. And what happens then is it can be potentially toxic relationships. So not only friendships, but marriages, and then not being present for your kids when you should be there for your kids. And it's nearly like you're living an act when you're taking drugs and drinking too much. Most people are good actors; they've just got used to it. And you see, it's very hard for me to say, oh, it's all around the conscious, subconscious mind. People go, what the fuck is that? It's very difficult. But you first, like, you have to realize you have an issue, but the issue is not the drugs, it's not the cocaine. The issue is why did you start taking cocaine in the first place? And then how is a habit formed? A habit's not formed in 21 days. A habit is formed in a year. And I know this, right? It's concrete after a year. So people have went from sniffing once a month to twice a month to once a week to 3 times a week. That's happened over 1, 2, 3 years. That's not just happened in a
Yeah.
fucking week to do that. So you see, the habit now has got used to this. So now this is an unconscious behavior that's coming out. So you see, you might as well take someone around like a little sheep and go, come over here. That's what their subconscious mind is doing. Sniff, drink, behavior. They don't even know they're doing it. And then they wonder, why do I keep doing it? And they'll say to their wife, oh my God, I don't know why I'm doing it. She thinks she's fucking lying. All right. She thinks he's lying. But the reality is, when I know how a habit works, a habit is now 95% of how I show up and you show up today is ran from internally. We don't even know what we're doing half the time. Do you see what I mean?
Mm.
Anyway, most people aren't fucking conscious of this, but when I explain it, they go, Jesus Christ, yeah, when you think about it. Now, the hard work is in the moment. I can give you all the tools in the world, but the hard work is when you have the thought. Are you willing to disassociate the thought, therefore extinguish the feeling that you want cocaine? Or are you going to be a pussy and fucking do it again and have absolutely zero discipline around it? So it brings us back to in the moment when you have a decision. If you really want to break the pattern, you will do the opposite of what you were doing.
Yeah.
Therefore, then this is where my teachings will come in. It'll back it up, it will reinforce it, and you will move forward and build strength.
Hmm.
Then you'll come up again. And before long, we'll have disassociated so far to your past timeline, you laugh about it in a year's time about cocaine because you will be so sick of it. Because now you've a sick feeling because of it, because that's what it is. It's not a pleasurable feeling, because the pleasurable feeling was only a self fulfilling prophecy we ever told ourselves about that drink or drug in the first place, especially when it's causing problems.
Yeah. I done a stint last year. I done 7 months sober and
Nice.
just 7 months off of booze. And the reason why I'd done it is because I used to be a heavy drinker. I used to be a proper party guy, living
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
weekend, like that. And then I just weaned myself, done it less and less. But then when I done it, it would still be chaos, or it would still
Yeah.
be mad. And then when I started distancing myself from that more and more, it became less and less. It'd be
Yeah.
like every few months, and then it could be every 6 months. But then when I actually took the 7 months of sobriety, because I never identified as I've not identified or having any problems with alcohol for years, but it actually made me realize that there was still dependency there,
Yeah.
which I was like blown
It's
away
mad.
with. Like because I was going to do 6 months and I ended up doing 7 because I got sick the first time I was going to have a drink, and then I ended up not doing it and held off another month. And there was a few times the first few months were easy because I'd taken like 4 months at a time, not drinking 3 months, but I'd never done the full sort of, I think 3 months was the longest. But I remember just being like, that's actually sad that like I haven't not drank.
I
Like
know, man.
it's actually pathetic.
Yeah.
Like see when you think about it. Like and when I first said that, I remember being like, oh, it's not pathetic. I'm like, no, it is. Like because you can't abstain from a
Yeah.
thing from any length of time. And see what you said right there. I remember there was a few points that stood out. And I've spoken about this in other podcasts where I remember we went to Ibiza and it was right before we done High Rocks World Champs last year, and then right
Right.
before that we were in Ibiza. We booked a wee trip and we were training really hard. And last time I'd been in Ibiza, man, it was a different experience. Like I was there with
I've
Ailey at
been
this
there
like
a bit, yeah.
resort, and but there was one night where I was like really itching for a beer, and I was like to Ailey, "Do you mind if I have a beer?" And she went, "Do you mind?" And I remember
Ah, yeah, yeah, nice. I like it.
I went like
Yeah,
that.
why are you even asking?
I went, why am I was because it was only 3 weeks away from it was 2 weeks away from the 6 months that I committed to do, and I remember actually being in a mood.
Yeah.
Like I was actually in a mood, and I was like sitting there.
You were only looking for her to fucking
Yeah,
as an
that was
excuse.
it.
Ah, she's okay with. See, it's madness of the
It's
mind, man,
mad,
isn't it?
mate. And like that's not even like, and even now, I don't. Like, the last time I drank excessively was I remember them all because it's becoming far few between. Was I was in Cyprus. I drink beers every other week.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'll have a few, like one or two.
There's
But
nothing wrong, you see. We see what. Sorry to butt
yeah,
in, but you see, I love football.
yeah,
Yeah, and one or two I can
yeah,
have. Any more is fine because it's controlled. But any more than that, then
yeah.
just to if you can handle it. But a lot of people can't
They
do that.
can't, yeah. And for me, I find the last time I had a good drink was like I had 7 drinks one night in Cyprus, and then it was New Year.
Yeah,
That was the last time. And then last year it was more than that. It was less. Well, was it more? And it's happening less and less because I'm realizing that like being blind drunk isn't something I value, man. I don't value how it makes me feel after. I don't value, and it's not to say that I go, is it good, bad, right, or wrong? Will I not do it? The only time I would drink excessively now, it's not even like I plan it in. See if it happens, it would happen. Like I don't even like intentionally do it. And one thing I've really changed as well is I don't encourage it with clients at all.
yeah,
Like I don't say it's good or bad or what they should or shouldn't be doing, but like so many people now are in say talking about balance and encouraging things, and I'm like, it's not that I'm like, you should do sobriety, you should do this, you should do that. I'm like, but exercising, abstaining from something is a very healthy habit.
absolutely.
People will tell you it's not. And I got a lot of empowerment from doing that 7 months
Yeah,
of sobriety, like because I went to the first few months were easy, like because I was like, that's fine. But then see when I hit like month 5 and stuff, and I was like, it was my usual behavior
yeah,
patterns. So we were in there, we'd done a High Rocks in Turin in the February, became second, and I just wanted to
yeah,
get some beers after, and I was like, oh, well, there was a wee part of me going like,
yeah. I
oh
know.
man, like this is crap, and it wasn't crap. It was just I was just so used to for decades, and but I'd convinced myself because I didn't drink excessively all the time anymore that I didn't. I'm not even saying I have a problem. It's not a problem, but I just hadn't realized that I hadn't actually really done that type of work before.
Yeah,
And it's like I say this to clients all the time when they're doing something they've never done because they'll associate because they've done fitness for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and then they start running or they start a new skill and then they're giving themselves a hard time. I'm like, you've never done this.
yeah,
And they're like, no, I have. And I'm like, you've done fitness for X amount of years, you've been in good shape, but you've not done this. And they're like, no, I have. And I'm like, you haven't. I'm like, you've never done this. Like,
yeah,
and they've never went to this level of detail. You've never took yourself this seriously. You've never embodied this level of standards. Like, it's hard. And I think like you always need to just keep yourself grounded, man, and like stay humble to the fact that if you've never done something, you've never done something
yeah,
before. And like sobriety, like doing that stint taught me a lot, man. And it changed my relationship with alcohol as well,
yeah.
even more. And I'll do it again, but I'm not in any rush to do it, or I'm not. It's not that I'm doing it from a. It's not even that I'm trying to justify it.
Yeah.
I'm just aware of it, conscious of it, and it's just something that like I will do again in the future. Like it's
Yeah,
a healthy thing to do.
no, but it is. But a lot of people, it's not healthy what they're doing. It could be what we talked about, weed. It could be drinking, whatever drug it is. It's still a drug. Like alcohol is the biggest fucking drug out there, and
Yeah,
it's legal. Whereas okay, one or two, but like, why are we drinking? Why are some people drinking? Like, if we have more than four or five, like, what is the point of it? What result do we get out of it? I personally, I don't get any result out of it. It doesn't make me feel good. So therefore, why would I go overboard and want to do that to myself? So therefore, see, it's another escape, and people don't want to look at themselves. So they'll think we're attacking them, even though I'm never attacking people. I'm only ever showing people. I'm never telling people. Like, when I'm not here to tell a grown fucking man what to do. That would be wrong of me. I can show you, I can show men. There is another way. There is other options. We can be a little bit flexible about how we think here. We can be a little bit flexible about what we do. But like with drinking, yeah, like it's fucking huge in my family. Even it's like accepted. You know, it's is it borderline alcoholism a lot of the time? Yeah, a lot of my mother's long dead now, but you know, they were very, grew up in a very tough Catholic household, but they all turned out alcoholics.
Yeah.
Everyone. I'm talking 12, 13 kids.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's so
Alcoholism.
much belief, bullshit around the beliefs. It was tough upbringing. And this is how the church was back then. And it's fucking sad. And that's why Ireland has an end. But Scotland is no different than England.
Yeah.
They're all the fucking same. Our culture is very similar. But people, it's normalized to go binge drinking on a Friday and Saturday. Like when I said binge drinking, go drinking all fucking day. It's
Yeah.
normal now to sniff cocaine. It's
Yeah.
nearly normalized in a pub to do that. Like, and now you're here in Malta, you will, if you're out here, you
St.
drink.
Julian's.
Fucking hell,
Mate, I've been out running 2 times and
yeah,
seen people getting picked
yeah,
up at the side of the street
yeah.
in the morning, just
Man,
lying there like that.
man, I was down. I go for a little swim every morning, so I just go down by Surfside, literally cross the road down into the bar. I bring a book, 30 minutes of vitamin D, yeah. And there was like, I was a little later this morning. It was like quarter to eight. I was there like fucking eight men out of their minds, drinking cans and smoking joints. Obviously, still up at quarter to eight. And man, I felt sick for them because I used to be that fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Do you know, I used to be that man who just couldn't go home. I didn't want to sleep because I was afraid to sleep. I was afraid to deal with my thoughts. And it's just so fucking sad when you look back on it. But this is normalized in the world. And you know what? A day of drinking is going to cost you 3 or 4 days, man. A day of drinking and cocaine will cost you a week. It's like time we do not have.
Yeah.
Why are people wasting so much of it? But I used to look back and go, oh, yeah, regret, but I don't regret. I'm glad I went through everything I've went
Yeah.
through because then I wouldn't be who I am or speak how I do and be able to do what I do if I didn't. So you said it about, you know, therapy and all this. I'm not against any of that, but I just know it didn't work for me. None of it worked for me. The success rate is shit. You know what? The teachings are Stone Age. It's like going back and reassociating problems into someone's head isn't going to fix any problem. We must remove the problem. And that's not done through positive thinking either. Because that's another fucking bullshit that's going around in the world. Just think positive. Oh yeah, how does that work? So you're telling me if I'm really not confident by me telling myself I'm confident, I'm going to be confident? No. You got to prove that to yourself. Your system must feel the truth. Therefore, that's done through fucking actions.
Yeah. Best way to get results for folk is get them in a space with other people doing it and get them taking action.
Yeah.
That's the best
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
They need to have other people that are doing the thing
Yeah.
they do, and then that creates culture, and that's
Yeah.
what happens in the programs like
Culture
ours.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you said it. The
Yeah.
culture is one of like we have a group, obviously group, but it's like we have a WhatsApp chat. It's on fire every
Yeah.
day because it's like what you said. It's creating camaraderie, culture, brotherhood. It's community. It's the missing
Yeah.
link for a lot of
Uh,
people.
That's the biggest one. A lot of folk lack that, and then phones, technology,
Yeah,
people are more connected but more lonely than ever. Then they're
fact.
not using it for the right
Yeah,
things, man. But I don't even know what time my watch doesn't even work, man, or what
I can
time.
tell you what time it is now. My missus.
1:36,
Oh
man.
yeah, she had plenty of time. Sorry
Yeah.
then now. Now I shouldn't have. I don't mind.
As well. Sometimes you're going a bit far from the microphone.
Me.
Yes.
Okay, I can stay here. Yeah, I'm happy sitting like this anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think you're gonna move a bit further, maybe you can move the microphone a bit.
Oh no, I'm happy sitting upright like this. I'm happy. He sits back. I'm sort of going in and out of that. But no, I'm gonna get another drink of water if
Go
I
for it,
can.
man.
Yeah, would you be able to? Because getting out of here now might be a little
I'll
bit.
let you run
No,
this
no,
way.
you're good. Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna give you some water as well.
Thanks, man. I think we've covered loads of the stuff I wanted to go into, man.
Are you happy with what we're covering?
Yeah, mate, really happy. I write down questions and I never fucking ask them.
No, but this is it,
That's
man.
the
You
best
see,
bit.
you're better off
No, I know.
with flow.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot of good information.
yeah,
What we've discussed. It's the truth, like, you know what I mean? It's real talk.
yeah, 100%. So yeah, obviously Jillian and my editors will see this and then they can cut it. So yeah, what's the long-term implications, mate, that nobody really talks about? People talk about like cocaine use, being a weekend warrior, but they don't really. You've spoke a lot about like toxic behaviors. What's the stuff that nobody really talks about that you know from personal experience and working with so many men going through this that is kind of cast a shadow on because folk wanted to focus more on the cool stuff rather than like what happens?
Oh man, Jesus, right? I could open up a fucking tin of worms. It's Jesus. It's just sad, man. Like even for myself, it's like it starts off as a social thing, and cocaine is so social. And at the start, it is. But you see, this is what I'm saying. Why do people consume more drugs, and then people say the problem is the drugs? No, the drugs is the escape. Is the escape? Is the effect, right? To take us away. So someone like me who, why did I then start consuming on a Monday? And I did it with ease as well when we were taking ease. I could do ease on a fucking Wednesday by myself.
So
So do you know what I mean? Like I didn't have to go out. Me and my cousin used to test these because we used to sell them. Let's just do 2 on a Monday. Okay. Do you know what I mean? So, but give us cocaine because it's easy. It's powder fucking up your nose. Then you start doing it by yourself. That's a big fucking problem.
yeah,
Doing cocaine by yourself, which leads to seedy behavior, porn for a lot. I wasn't so big into porn, but a lot of men are addicted. Again, another addiction isn't an addiction; it's another escape. Cocaine, porn, gambling. It leads to such undesirable behavior from a man towards his wife because he probably won't want to sleep with his wife because all he's consumed with is the thought of taking coke. So examples being someone could go to work and they don't sniff during the day, but all there's on their mind once they finish work because they've associated, right, finish at 4, get a line. If I need to go get a bag, I go get a bag. Then it's how am I going to convince the wife I'm not high? Then I'm going to eat my dinner even though I'm not fucking hungry. Imagine living a life like that and then afraid your wife sleeps on your fucking chest because it's beating so fast she's going to know you're doing coke. Imagine having a child and having to hold your child out like that and the fear of cocaine will fall out of your nose into that child's mouth. And that's all the 5 experience.
wow, man.
How about staying, go on, man. This is the tip of the fucking iceberg. The act of, oh, I'm fine going into work and like you're after missing a load of meetings and you're trying to get staff up and running, they're just looking at you as if you're some type of a joke because they know you're telling lies through your teeth. Always having the runny nose, always locking yourself in the office, always acting erratic and weird. And I used to have serious fucking outbursts of anger and violence as well. Yeah. Do not start on me. Even though I'm the biggest cunt and I'm the one in the wrong, I will fucking be like a Tasmanian devil. That's how I react. I would break a fucking place up and anyone in it. And it was sad, man, when I think back. It was like, it's fucking just, I don't know how I was even in a relationship. I was so fucked up on drugs. But I was so sad. Under that was nothing but fear and sadness. And I did not know how to manage feelings. I didn't know what a feeling was. I just thought this was my life and I might as well die. So let's just consume as much drugs as possible. Like I would rather sit there all day sniffing drugs, paranoid out of my head, worrying cops are going to come in the door, even though there's no one there. I'm sitting by myself. I would put nothing on. I'd be listening for things outside. Tell me how fun that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what people are doing tonight. They'll be there with their curtains like that. Oh, imaginary fairies going to come in now and attack us. I've often got knives, baseball bats, having beside me. I'm sitting in my shorts, fucking ready. No one's coming in, motherfuckers. No one. And listen, man, this is common what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not just me. These are common stories. And like then it's gambling apps, problems.
Yeah.
It's hookers. For some people are cocaine straight to hookers, married men, and that destroys more self-worth. Sex is no different, by the way. It's all a self-worth destroyer. It's all a bad fucking energy multiplier. All of these things I'm talking about. So imagine living a life like that for 2 or 3 years. That's your day. on the run basically from yourself, and then having to act and lie through your fucking teeth to everyone who actually does care about you, and eventually that's only going to go one way. You're going to lose everything.
Yeah.
Because you do not give a fuck about yourself or have any type of self-respect for yourself.
Yeah. And what's the biggest barrier for people reaching out at that point? Like,
It's fear, and it is fear. Judgment is going to be a big one, and it's, oh, I've tried everything. I've tried the therapies and all. And when I say, sorry, I want to just revert back. See, we did say it is more men like me, and I don't want to be condescending in what I'm saying here to you whatsoever, but I'm not dealing with people on the street. I've always been something about me. I've always had a drive, a work ethic, and I'm fucking sick of lazy people, by the way. Lazy people come to me and I'll just tell them, you're a lazy cunt, I don't want to work with you. You're not going to do anything. If it's been handed to you, you've never worked hard, you're never going to get a program like mine, because it's going to take consistent effort. Whereas the lads that are coming to me are genuinely hard workers. Then they've built something in their lives. Now, some of them are normal Joe Soaps, but I'll tell you what we instill in them. We instill in them when they see other people, they're going, whoa, how did you do it? Where did they want to ask the question? So what I've created is a multiplier of your potential, basically. And with that, it's not for everybody. You know, you have to be ready to roll up your sleeves. You have to want it. But man, it's like you said about the booze. 5 months in, oh, I could go back there. You see, that's when it gets harder. But you got to make the decision, and this is the lifestyle I chose. I have a specific lifestyle I've chosen. Do you know, some people choose, oh, let's do it, but it's more of a hobby really than a lifestyle. No, motherfucker, fuck it as a hobby, do it as a lifestyle. Then there's no self-negotiation. There is no self-negotiation when it comes to if someone offers you cocaine or not. That is not who I am. I have, this is my lifestyle. I'm, like, a big thing for us is creating leaders, is being responsible men, showing our families a better way, showing our communities a better way. That's all my social media is really. Yeah, I'm hard hitting, but it's the truth what I say. And people will love it and people will despise me because they know I'm hitting nerves in what I'm saying. And some of it is funny because it's fucking so fucking mad.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
What's one of the most mad situations you've been in?
Well, listen, man, many. I woke up, like, I've been in a lot of bad situations. Like plenty. I remember I was going out with this girl, Ilzy. She was a laughing girl, and I'd say I'd been on the fucking coke for about 3 days. And my friend rang me, I come around. I did a reel about this too. Come around with some nice whiskey, sniffed more, drank more. And when I drank whiskey, I just would black out. Like, I know I could, on cocaine, you can drink, you know, so I could lower quite large shots of this, and it wouldn't. I would think it wouldn't affect me. So obviously, it would have a major effect on me. But when you're on booze and go for 3 days, you probably don't feel anything. I ended up then in my mother's kitchen, going, "Where is my car? Where is my girlfriend? What?" And then I walked back up the lane, and I crashed the car with her in, and she was still upside down. And I got out and walked down to my mother's and had a drink. And then I woke up out of this daze, going, "What the fuck?" Listen, there's been horrific fights, horrific fights on with me being paranoid. With, yeah, people getting hurt, man. I got hurt a lot. Other people get hurt. My brother got extremely hurt by me, which is not nice. Before, there was another incident where I was with a friend of mine. He had just got engaged. There was 10 good friends, supposedly, at this place. The girl he was getting engaged to, her brother was there. He was only 16. I was about 21. We were in the kitchen, and I just said to my girlfriend, "Shut the fuck up," because that's what I did back then, you know, right or wrong. And I could see him getting a knife, and he came to attack me with it, and he slashed her hands. I grabbed her, brought her up to the room. Next thing, a knife came through the door. Next thing I remember, I'm out on the street with her. "We have to get the fuck out of here. You went on a mad one." And I said, "What did I do?" So basically, I don't remember any of this. Again, I've been on it all day, and a couple of people got stabbed. And it's like, oh, what the fuck? So I used to black out a lot, yeah. And it happened with my brother as well. I nearly strangled him one night.
My God.
So not nice, man. I was
A big guy as well, man.
such a nasty person because I was so fucking upset with my life.
Yeah.
And so saddened with, and that's, listen, I say that these are examples, and it's not to, it's where it brings you, man. It's not a nice place, like, and
No.
I'm not that person. Like, I'm quite a soft-natured person. When I started uncovering all of this, the only reason I chose that lifestyle is because I was in so much fear, and actually I had to go 10 times harder. Whereas now when I look back on it and think, oh, it's just, I was just a fucking child. Like, I was just saddened, and that's not me at all. At all. So yeah, I can tell you a lot of stories like that, like fucking driving around with kilos of cocaine in the boot, out of my fucking mind, looking for hookers with friends, stupid stuff like I'll tell you, I was in the car, right? I drove it. Do you know what an M5 is?
Yeah.
I bought an M5 when I was 21. Yeah, so my mate is dead now, right? I was sitting in the passenger seat. He was a heroin dealer, crack cocaine. And we were basically driving around Dublin on the M53 in the morning looking for some birds he was talking about, and had an ounce of cocaine. So an ounce of cocaine is probably that in a bag, and we were sniffing out of it. And the next thing, I'm driving fast. Someone pulled out and I jammed the brakes. The fucking coke went all over the car. And I said, for fuck's sake. So we picked up most of it. Anyway, the next day I had to drop it to my mate. He had to do a service on the car. And he rang me. He said, what the fuck were you doing in here last night? I said, man, I'm after pulling at least 5 grams off the front seat and rocks that were down in that. See, just stupid stuff where I've taken chase from police out of my mind. Just all sorts of.
Yeah. It's mad being normalised, isn't it? You know, and I think
But
there's
to me, it was normal,
Yeah,
all
it's
of this
just not-
behaviour, even though I felt terrible after all these incidents. And I got a fair few slaps myself. Like I was at another party and I woke up and my mate was covering me. My shirt was blood all over me and I was getting booted around the place. And I said, what the fuck? He said, it kicked off in there. I literally went into this party, again after being on coke all day, got a bottle of vodka and started downing it. And then just start, obviously someone said something, bump, and I don't even know most of the people in here. I was invited to this party. So it's things like that. It's putting yourself in danger because you don't care. You genuinely just are so unhappy with yourself in life. I was just a dejected person, like just mentally not there. It was sad days, man. But sure, here I am now anyway, able to tell the story. Whereas others aren't, do you know? I had a cousin of mine, he committed suicide over all of this. You know, there's a lot of sad stories like that.
Yeah.
You know, people don't. But obviously, I can look at my life and go, do you know what? Thank God for the universe. I'm blessed that I was definitely put here for something. And I know what that is now. But we talk about purpose. This is my purpose. I'm living my purpose. I know exactly what it is. And it's like, man, you said something very important. You will have days where you'll question everything. But okay, we can do that and we can understand this is a feeling. Or we can decide, oh, this is how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life, therefore I will not do anything. Whereas we can in that moment decide to think a different way and we can decide to take a different action. I think that was very important what you said.
100%. Like, I think that was my last question to you before we round things off. Like, obviously you mentioned at the beginning about finding peace. Have you found a lot more peace in your life?
Yeah. Like, I have a son now. He's the apple of my eye. He's 9. I'm doing my best to be everything what he needs in me as a role model. So that gives me, like, I got emotional. Like, that just made me a little emotional when you start asking me some of these questions. Like, when I see him now, he's a really good footballer. He's going for trials in England now twice this year. He's the best at his age group in Malta. He plays for Hamroon. And yeah, I fucking love it because I love football. Him and his mum, I would have put his mum through a lot. We get on well now. We want the best for him. So, yeah, peace is earned, is what I will say. It's not just something that's going to come to me or you. It is earned through by what we were willing to do and what we were able to do. And I guess we're willing and able to do nearly anything we put our minds to and want to do, more importantly. So, yeah, I have my purpose. Can we always be at peace? I think that's bullshit. No. No, I think there's days, man, I could wake up tomorrow like a bear and I have to sort my shit out. You know, we do. We're in full control of our emotional well-being. And once we understand that, we go, life is okay. It's always how we respond. I was a great reactor. I gave you some stories there reacting. I could never be told what to do when I was young. And I reacted very defensive. Whereas now, most of the time I can take a step back and go, okay, how is my true self going to respond here? And that's the pattern breaker right there. When you respond as you know is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Be,
No, I can resonate, man. I had that conversation with my coach at the start of the year. So my coach is actually, he's been sober for 5 years.
nice.
And he's got a mad story.
Ah.
He's got like, I mean, he's like told me some mad. He came and spoke at an event that we ran a
Nice.
few years ago as well. He's now like a high rocks athlete
Yeah.
as well. Like he's fifth in the world.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's got me. I'll send you his stuff. You should
Damn,
check
man.
it out.
Yeah,
he's
I'd be well.
really
I
good guy.
like
What's he guy?
them.
Dead chilled as well, but he's quite a stoic guy. Obviously, quite a self-aware guy like yourself, and got a lot of life experience. Got some mad stories.
Yeah.
And he was telling me at the start of the year, I was just giving him a bit of an update on where I was at training and
Yeah.
stuff, and I was like, I'm in a really good headspace right now, mate. I was like, I'm just really happy with life at the moment. Like I was just kind of at that.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not happy right now, but it was just like just expressing how you feel in that moment. And he always said something to me that's just stuck, and it wasn't even something he probably meant. He's like, just enjoy it, bro. And he's like, because it comes and it goes, and you don't know what's going to happen next. And I remember I was just like, it's so true. And I think a lot of people are under this mad illusion that like you get to this final destination and you don't. You really, really don't. I used to always hear a lot of like people I really looked up to in podcasts like this, and I'd be like, they must have cracked it. They must have, and it's like, nah.
You're right, man.
Yeah.
I love what you've said. It's the fucking facts.
Yeah, nobody's. I always say to clients, like, imagine your brain is represented by balls, right? And you have on average 60,000 thoughts a day. That's an actual fact.
Yeah, no.
And the goal was, imagine red balls represent negative thoughts, self-doubt, like skepticism, anxiety, and green balls represent stoicism, positivity, enlightenment. The goal is just, how do I make it predominantly green?
Yeah.
The reds are never going to go away, but then sometimes it goes more red, and sometimes it goes more green. And then like the goal is like, how can I just make my life
minimize
how can I minimize that and minimize red? And if I can do that, I'm jamming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like, a lot of folk just don't. They're always like, once I get to here, and you're like, nah, it doesn't exist, man.
It doesn't exist, man.
Yeah.
It's just sets you up for so much fucking sadness. I used to with the drugs, I told you, I used to always be having these massive big months I wanted. And they're so unachievable. I'm so unhappy. I had no reason. I just made myself unhappy. But whereas you're right, it is not. It is what we do now. Like this is green. Now what do we do when I come out of here? Is it going to be more positive steps in the right direction? My interaction is going to be more positive. Am I going to do stuff that I don't want to do? Probably today I'm going to have to, but it's all going to be a positive at the end of the day. And some days we'll just, you see, the way I look at, we can't always be performing 24/7, but even on a day when we're 60, 70%, that still equals to 100%.
Yeah.
We just get it done.
Yeah.
The basics done. Whereas if we can focus on the basics, and the basics a lot of times is ourselves, just checking in with ourselves. I have a very specific morning routine that sets me up.
I'm the
And
same.
then I can get my work. I'm so tired then by 2 or 3 because I've just got so much done. I just not switched off, and then I can relax a little bit. And then sometimes I have more calls. But yeah, purpose is certainly lacking in the world.
Yeah, I think so. Well, mate, I think that's an amazing way to round things off. Thank you very much for coming on
Pleasure,
the
man.
podcast
Absolutely.
and sharing your story, man. Like very, very like honestly and vulnerably as well, man. If that's a word, vulnerably. Is that a word?
No, but let's go with it though.
Let's
I
go
like
with
it.
it.
I'm going to use
Yeah.
vulnerably.
And obviously, where can everyone find you, Derek? Where's the?
I think Instagram is the easiest one for me. D-Row Method on Instagram. So DROWE D-Row.
I'll put it in the show notes
just
below. Yeah.
put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
and
because people probably won't understand this anyway.
not a fucking chance, man. I've executed some words, big words properly, but
Yeah.
when we're just speaking like this, I'd say people are going, what
What are they
language is
saying?
this?
Yeah, what are they talking
I
about?
remember, I'll tell you the story. First day I came here, I went to 4Fitness straight away.
Yeah. It's a good
Uh,
gym, that, isn't it?
Good gym. Yeah, but compared to home, not great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for here, it's good. Went in, and you be friendly and you chat away. So I was probably chatting to this guy for 20 seconds. He went, what language do you speak? And I said, for fuck's sake. I'm in trouble. Like, even 5 years on, and I'm really looking at someone and slow down, there's still... Now, most can, but you will get that... cannot understand you. I said, wow, you can't understand me. There's no chance. No chance.
Well, yeah, guys, I hope you took a lot away from this today. As always, please hit subscribe to the channel, and thanks very much. See you later. Goodbye.